Adam, our friends over at Sellhound have outdone themselves. They're giving the DeathPiles and Taxes listeners an opportunity of a lifetime.
They're going to help us make some money, get rid of that death pile, get your items listed because you can't sell out of an empty wagon.
Man, sell all that you got, kill that death pile. When you go over to Sellhound, use promo code, capital letters, DeathPiles25 to save 25% off of their service.
And get out there and start making some money.
Here comes the money. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Money, 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 money.
Welcome into the bright and early death piles and taxes. We're on a beautiful rainy Saturday.
It's kind of nice. It's cooled on off when I came on my little stroll over, had a little earbud in, listening to some things, and it's just a good day to be an eBay reseller, Adam.
There are all kinds of deals, and I already, spent my morning early. I've been hit on this kick. I can't join in the Diet Do 30 anymore.
I know I have to bring BYOD, bring my own doozer.
I've kicked it. I'm 2 weeks into that, and then I started walking. I don't know. Something hit me. I've been trying to get my 10,000 steps.
There you go.
So it was raining this morning, and I was a little disappointed. So you know what I did?
Little meth.
No.
I probably can't say that.
You probably can't say that anymore.
You're probably going to sue me at some point.
I went and got on my walking shoes and went to the local Walmart and did my thing.
Wait a minute. You went for 10,000. You started walking laps around Walmart.
I exactly did.
Thinking that's a healthy option?
Well, it was indoors and it wasn't raining.
You're going to catch something in Walmart if you're in there for over an hour.
Well, I was walking so
allegedly.
fast.
I am going to get sued someday.
The Rona was trying to catch up with me, but I wouldn't let it. I went in there, walked for about 20 minutes, the rain stopped, went outside, and I'm halfway to my goal.
So when you're walking around the Walmart store, do any of the employees stop and say, hey, can we help you? Or what are you doing?
No.
Or they just see the same guy walking around, they're going to call you crazy walk around the store
A
guy.
lot of people do it. Usually they're like quite aged.
I've heard of mall walkers. I've never heard of Walmart walkers.
Well, there's no mall close to us. And
I understand that.
so, no, there are Walmart walkers. I went down the clearance aisle.
Ain't it good?
No.
That could be interesting as somebody likes to flip some things. You could just be walking and scan as you go.
That's true. You
Grab something, put it back on the next lap. Now I'm thinking that's not. I was giving you crap for it now. That's not a bad idea.
You know what? It turned out well for me, and I feel better. I'm cranking. It's Agua 30 for me.
Agua 30. Well, where's your Aqua Vista?
I don't drink Aqua Vista. I can't afford that.
Where's your? You gotta have a nice bottle or something.
I usually have a Costco, but I try to get a refill, but I can't refill anymore because you might catch the Rona. So
Yeah, the BPRs or something in the plastic. BPE is gonna get to me.
I guess so. So
Hey, last week's episode of Death Piles and Taxes
which I listened to on my walk around Walmart.
was quite different. It was a good one. I kind of want to apologize a little bit. We had a couple guests in studio, Michael Painter and Pelican, and they're both just full of knowledge. The problem is that it's me and Adam's podcast, and I had a $20,000 swing that week, so we went into a lot of detail about that, which is what it is. But they were dropping some knowledge, and I want to have, especially we've had Painter in studio a few times. I want to have Pelican back. He has some good ideas. He's thrown out some good knowledge, and I kind of, when I was, when I was listening back to it, I thought, man, I didn't let him talk for the whole first half, so I apologize to those guys for coming on and not being able to put some more input in, but it's just how the week plays out is how it goes. So.
Yeah, but don't you fret. There's going to be plenty of future #Husky sections.
I guess maybe that's it. There's going to be a lot of Husky sections that have nothing to do with eBay where Pelican does get to speak his piece on things.
And from where I sit, there's going to be plenty of information from those guys.
So we have a local newspaper in where we grew up called the Times News, and the Hefe of the Times News.
That means boss, for those who do not speak.
Used to have a section and article they'd write weekly. It was called From Where I Sit. And I remember Pelican saying that. He thought that was the greatest title for a periodical or whatever you want to call it. The guy every week would just kind of write his opinion of from where he sits, how he sees things. So we're going to rip that straight off because me and Pelican talked about that anyways before. But From Where I Sit with Pelican, We'll still be the Husky section because I'm not going to do new intros and everything. That just takes time. But yeah, maybe we'll have to. Painter was here, so it was a Husky section. But it's me, you, and Pelly one-on-one, which hopefully happens at some point. We'll have to call it from where I sit.
There you go.
So everyone's on board with what's flowing with the podcast. But
So how's your eBay? I mean, that's what we want to get into. Are you still raking just hand over fist?
No, eBay has quite slowed down since people started going back to work and stuff. Still doing all right, still sending offers, but definitely not the freight train that was just printing money off a few months ago or a month ago. These are still selling, still going well. I actually have an update on the 20K story I want to get into, if that's if that's all right.
We can definitely get into it, but I do have a question regarding our area. It opened back up. The largest thrift store reopened yesterday.
Oh yeah, we were gonna bring that up. Yeah, have you been? I know you were jonesing to get there.
It was yesterday, and I didn't have a chance to go because I only had certain hours. I didn't have a chance to go, but I want to. And for those of you know, I mean, I've gotten extremely heavy into cards because I'm all excited about this reselling. So we're gonna make some money. I'm gonna take my goal is now. I mean, last year we did pretty well. Like I said, we made about 2,500. So we did okay. Like I said, it was fun. It was enjoyable. I got to double that to be able to go to Disneyland when and if it ever opens up again.
It will, probably sometime in 2021.
Yeah, so getting the cards was a lot easier because, to go to different, Phil's shop, get some different things online, learning how to send them to PSA. So we didn't have to go into the thrift stores. Now that they're open, we are going to be opening that aspect of our eBay store up again.
And that's the thing. The thrift stores are open. I tell people, go in, be careful. Maybe bring some hand sanitizer. Stuff would be just on a normal day at a thrift store. If you want to be extra careful, wear a mask, wear some gloves. Do what you got to do to feel safe. If you don't feel safe doing that, don't do it. But that's up to you.
Do you think? I mean, knowing what happens in the bins, I mean. Do you think the Rona could be any worse than what goes on in the bins?
I'm not going back to the bins anytime soon if they open. I'd rather go. I can't say what I'd rather just go lick random people's doorknobs than go to the bins at this point because that place was filthy to begin with. If anywhere Rona's collected, it's they're selling by the bagful there. I'd imagine. Again, I am going to get shut down and sued at some point. I realize I say a lot of insensitive things anymore.
You might be suspended in the near future.
From shopping at the Goodwill outlets. But I mean, right now, thrift stores have been overwhelmed, overloaded with people have been cleaning, trying to donate. So it is a good time if that's your MO or things that you like to sell or, found at thrift stores, clothing related. Just be safe, be cautious when you're doing it. But I think there's going to be some good deals to be found, some good items to be had. So find out what those items are that you're after so you know what you're looking for. Find out that, sometimes you treasure hunting. But know the hours of operation, the rules of the stores, all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, and I'm going to share with you something I never thought would happen. I went to go do my walking at Walmart, and I had to wait for Walmart to open.
Yeah, I've been going to work quite early the past couple months, just with everything going on, and there's convenience stores by us that are not open.
It's insane.
I mean, I'm leaving before the local 7-Eleven, so to say, are open. So yeah, it's a whole new world. I mean, I know Adam doesn't like the new normal, so we'll just call it the way it is right now.
The way it is, I like that. That's a little better.
In these troubled times.
That's right.
So let me bring you up to date on the story, and then we can move on. I just don't want to forget it, and then have people say, you said you were going to tell that, you didn't tell that." So
tell us about your 20K update.
So
long story short, last guy.
Go back, listen to last week's episode. Basically, had a transaction, the check bounced, right? As we left, the check bounced. I had some good opinions from you, Pelican and Painter, on what to do next, what the next move should be, if any. So the guy threw out and I'm wondering if there was some sort of legal binding agreement that he was afraid of a lawsuit against the company or something, because he throws out, "Hey man, I'll make this right to you. What do I need to do?" You remember that part?
Yes, I do remember that part.
And so a couple days went by, had not seen legal agreement at all. So I just sent him a message on Messenger, said, "Hey man, got some got a certified letter from the bank today that we have some fees and some things. Just wondering where that's at. What's up? Are we still good?" He said, oh yeah, send that out, making sure the figures were right, sorry. And I said, hey, no problem, not trying to burn bridges or anything. I said, hey, as soon as that clears, I got that ball that you were interested in, which was a dirty, looked like the dog had been playing with it in the barn for 20 years ball. But I said, I'll bring that over and a few other things, just, let you know everything's cool on my end.
There you go.
And he's like, oh, really? And I said, yeah, I'll bring that over. And he said, well, you probably already sold that championship ball then. I said, no, I haven't sold anything because I had to take everything down. I haven't put everything up. I said, no, it's still available. And he said, well, what did you want for that again? I said, well, it's up on eBay right now for 15, but I mean, if you're serious right now and to build good relations and all that and get back in where we're cool with each other, so I'll give it to you for $1,000. And he's like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I mean, check's got to clear, and
no, you should have said cash money.
it's got to be what it's got to be. Yeah, I should have said cash money, but he was kind of I don't know, tell between the legs guy. You can tell how things are. So I said, yeah, no, that'd be fine. And he said, oh, okay, cool, and then some documents and whatever. And I said, yeah, I'll throw in some documents because really. Those are hard to peddle anyways. They're cool, but who's on eBay looking for Jerry Sloan's game plan against the Supersonics 1996?
Like I said, that's more of a
not a lot of people. Yeah. I mean, so I'm like, yeah, I'll throw some of that in. And he said, well, what about the Malone shoes?
Okay. That's one of your top 5 items.
That's one of my top 5 items, and man, I said, well, to be honest with you, I really don't want to pay eBay fees and deal with shipping on high dollar things, but my stocking shoes are got a lot of watchers. That auction actually ends today, so next week we'll have the update on that. And I was going to do them staggered, so back to back. Anyways, I threw out a really high number. I said, man, because of the Jordan shoes or whatever, I said I'd like 5,000, and he countered back and said, oh, that's a little rich for my blood. I said, well, honestly, what can you do right now? If you were going to do it right now, throw me out an offer.
Yeah, let me know.
And he came back with an offer of 2,000.
Okay.
And I thought, if I turn down 2,000 for a pair of shoes, will I be able to ever look myself in the mirror again? And I said, tell you what, man, let's do it. He sent me the 3,000 for the agreement for whatever. So I guess I don't sue you. I don't know. It's your business partner sleep well at night. Sent me another $3,000 for the ball, the shoes, and some documents, and we got ourselves a deal.
Okay.
He says, all right. And I said, okay, I might be crazy, but fool me twice, shame on me, right?
Yes.
So I'll bring him over to the office once everything clears, blah, blah, blah. So a couple days go by, I haven't seen nothing. I'm like, man, I'm just going to play. I'm getting burned again. I'm kind of talking to some people. I get home, and my wife is actually, she never gets the mail. So every time I go get the mail, she goes, oh, you see I got the mail today? I said, no. She goes, I think your check's here. So there, sure enough, is the check for the $6,000. And needless to say, I go over to the bank, and it has been cashed.
Okay.
And now I'm just waiting for a couple of days to make sure we're all still well and good, but it looks like that might be going through on Monday. So
don't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Been there, done that.
I think it might be twice.
It might be. I mean, if this comes back a second time, then yeah, it's a done deal. But you got to give a guy a little redemption quality. I think he got caught in front of his business partners in the wrong way.
He got excited.
This is from a personal account. This is a different account. We'll see what happens. But anyway,
needless to say, like this is, you found this large, and you're to the point where you don't. These one-of-a-kind items, it is extremely difficult to price. Like, there are no comps, there's nothing, it is what the market will bear.
And some of it, if I was to send it in to get it authenticated, which I should do, would be worth more, but where I'm like, I bought it right from Jerry Sloan. There's no way Jerry Sloan has a knockoff pair of John Stockton's shoes autographed. So for me to take the time, they're pretty delicate. I am going to do it with a few other things I got because I'm just like, it's worth it. But I've been also doing better on my social media. I've been doing my item of the day, basically.
Yeah, I saw that.
And it's been driving people to the auctions. It's actually working. We'll see if it ends up with people bidding. And also I thought, well, at first I thought this is a little spammy or whatever. But then I thought, no, this is cool stuff people want to see, whether or not they go and bid or whatever. It's cool to see some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Especially if you're into the stuff that we're into. So
it's so different because that's the way it used to be. Handwritten, heartfelt Christmas cards were a thing of the past.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's something to put up. People think, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
We'll see how long I can keep that up and going. But so anyway, so that's that update. I spent probably about 2.5 hours the other day with our boy Phil, just chilling after work one day, man. So
2.5 hours there, huh?
oh man, we get going. Me and Phil take some deep dives. I've learned a lot about him, and he's learned some about me. And then I give him some money, and
He's your therapist now.
it really is, man. So that's been fun. It's been good. I've got back. So my 15 free for my subscription. I got those back the other day.
What?
Yeah. So I got some cards to go. I've been posting some things.
I'm waiting for my cards. It's only been like a week and a half, and I'm just waiting. I'm itching.
They'll be here within probably a month, maybe 2 at the
You
most.
think?
Yeah.
Well,
on the free 15,
well,
which are free for your subscription,
I'm
which
kind of
costs you $2.50.
I'm kind of nervous because I think I might have packed them incorrectly. I think I might be on somebody's bad list.
Hopefully they don't hold that against you, so they grade them. How did you pack them incorrectly?
Well, I put them in, but I left them in the harder cases.
No, that's what you're supposed to do.
Not the slick little thin ones.
That's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you're
All right.
You're okay.
All right. I feel better about myself.
You're all right. So, do we want to get into this in the second hour or not? Let me make a major. Can we make a major announcement?
Let's hit that. Then we'll hit our
We got our good story that we got to get into with our buying things from the parking lot
yes.
that we teased last week and never did get to.
The parking lot purchases, the PLPs.
Well, I mean, we'll make an ad about this as well, but you remember our friend Suzanne?
How could I forget Suzanne?
Sellhound reached out to us, Adam. I think we're one of the first, if not the first. We've done some business with her, had her here on the podcast.
Close personal friend of Gene Simmons.
Got it. Well, they're okay.
Well,
They know each other.
well,
I don't know they're sending holiday greetings, but
well, not anymore. I mean, this is in the mid '80s.
they were in a movie together.
Yeah,
I
shared a romantical scene.
didn't see the movie, but maybe I'll have to go find it on the Netflix.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, Sellhound reached out to us and said, "Hey guys, we want to help out listeners from DeathPiles and Taxes. Thanks for having us on there and doing all that." And by doing that, they gave us a promotional code.
Ooh.
That if you go on to Sellhound and you sign up for a subscription, first off, they said go ahead, use it for free for your first 3 listings, right? And see if you like it, if it works for you. We've talked about it, where Adam's talking about getting back to the thrift stores and doing clothing items. With Sellhound, we've talked at length, but we'll keep going on about it, how fast that you can actually list things using Sellhound. When you sign up for a new subscription and use the promo code DeathPiles25.
Oh, DeathPiles 25.
DeathPiles has to be capitalized.
Okay.
You will save 25% on that subscription.
Wow.
Now you're talking about some of the bigger subscriptions. Let's say you're doing $100 or larger. Adam, you're the accountant on that, but that would be saving $25 on that.
Which is a good chunk of change. That's a couple. I mean, for the things that you're sourcing, I mean, that's about another 7 to 8 items.
And you say you do one of their bigger packages of 1,000. How much is that, Adam?
$250.
Where I come from, as we'll get into a story a little later, that's a lot of money.
That's a good flow to cash.
So we'd encourage you to go over, check out Sellhound, download the app, use the fetch option, if nothing else, to find out what things are selling for. It's kind of like a fast completed listings. However, if you sign up for a subscription, throw in DeathPiles, all capital letter DeathPiles, not letter, the term, and then the numbers 25, and you will save 25%.
Wow.
So how cool is that, man?
What a great opportunity. Like this is the whole idea concept is they want to get more items out there, and it's no longer just the smaller tiers. We teased this last week. Walmart's going all in.
Oh, everyone's going online. I think with this pandemic thing that's been going on, is people are learning that, hey, people can work from home on the computers.
I mean, ThredUp and Walmart just basically had a merger. Essentially, what's going to happen is the items that you have are now going to be able to pool into a Walmart database, and you're just getting more and more and more eyeballs, because it's the same concept that anytime something sells online, then somebody is making money on it. And they don't care if it's on their shelf, if it's coming from their distribution center, or if it's, somebody sitting in their basement in Oklahoma now listing items that they can't find. They're going to make money because you're working hard.
Yeah, the internet's an equalizer. It doesn't matter where you're from or what you're doing necessarily. Your competition is it you against Walmart? Is it you against these bigger companies? Somewhat, but if you can find that stuff and get it listed, obviously the more you can list, the faster you can list, and then you get competitive with pricing. You're right in the game. So go over, check out Sellhound, and if you like what you see, DeathPiles 25, and we'll go from there. So that was my big announcement, Adam.
Way to go, D-Roy. That is a big announcement for us. We appreciate that, getting that on there. Like it says, the goal, the hope, the dream, the aspirations, which I wish more people would ask me, is to get people selling, is to make you money in your own fun way.
Yeah, and what is your goal, dreams, and aspirations?
Well, you've never asked me that before.
That was a bad night, man.
Well, for me,
That's 15% why I hate that university.
I was the one that had to come up with tickets for other people.
Oh man, that was bad. That's a story we gotta tell someday too.
Yeah, that's a whole other animal there.
Adam once got me on a blind date where I just got yelled at about what a horrible person I was. And then my date ended up going to a basketball game with him and his date while I went to a local watering hole and watched it on TV with Pelican.
Some people.
But then after the date, I got to go and pick them up from the game, and we got to go buy them dinner when I was poorer than a church mouse, and they ordered the most expensive thing on the menu just to stick it to us, knowing that there would never be a second date, and me praying that my debit card was not declined as they ate their filet mignon. That's how that night went.
There you go. That's when Derek really got into it. Says, I need to make more money. Yeah,
This ain't working for me.
Trent Hicks signs all over and just sell them like it's going.
I'll have a water and the complimentary chips, and I'll watch you eat a steak. But now you know why I didn't ask you about your dreams or hopes, because I did not care nor could afford them.
You can purge the internet and sort through it. There may be a few videos involving D-Roy at ways to go to a restaurant and order some lemons and had sugar packets and just go to town.
We were watching, what was the show? It was called, it was on the Hulu, Permanent is what it was called.
Okay.
And my grandparents used to get together with their brothers and sisters. They were all senior citizens. My grandpa's like the youngest, so a lot of them have passed away. But they would go to casinos, or they'd go down to California and do the snowbird thing, but they'd stop at casinos and stuff along the way. And sometimes me and my dad would go visit them, and we'd order drinks or whatever. And I got yelled at a couple of times on this by these people. One, I ordered a drink once, which was, you don't do that.
Always water.
Always water. Ask for some lemons. If you're diabetic, there's equal right there, or sweet and low. If you're not diabetic, there's free sugar. You make your own lemonade. The second was, a lot of these casinos and stuff have promotions where, you can get the steak or the prime rib for like $3, and it comes fully loaded with baked potato and everything else. Well, I've never been able to order those kind of things at restaurants. I always got hamburgers. So one day I ordered a hamburger, and for the next 30 minutes, my grandpa let me know why that was the wrong decision. You always get the prime rib, especially at that price. You're just eating ground up beef when you could be having prime rib.
Choice cut.
You know better than that now, basically. And it was all done out of love. So we're watching this Permanent show, and it's a long story, but basically in there somewhere, the mom's kind of like this. They're penny pinchers. It's got Rainn Wilson in it, and it's a weird movie. But they're out to eat or whatever, and the mom tells the daughter, always order the same thing. Always order lemons, and you can make your own lemonade. And I just laughed.
Well, I think that's kind of why we relate. Not that we came from nothing, but we also had some.
My dad's mad about those gunny sacks. I told you, man. He's like, I need to bring you some gunny sacks over. I think we need to get Danny in studio at some point.
That would be great. I'm sure that would be
a husky section to remember.
That would be a husky section. But no, I had some clients in here this past week, and they've been longtime clients, and we just kind of got talking. There was an opportunity, and they had 7 kids, And obviously they did not have a lot growing up in the 70s, 80s with their children. But she said a story. She said, yeah, this one time we were up to Salt Lake watching the airplanes fly in, back when you could do that. And I just was like, I used to do that. We did the same thing.
Watch them land, huh?
We'd take a trip to go to Las Vegas because you had to go to the grocery store because you didn't have a Walmart in town. You literally didn't have a grocery store when you were kids. There was a small one. But anyways, you bring the ice cooler, you get everything, and Mom would take you to the airport so you could watch the airplanes come in because it was free.
It was free. It'll take some hours. I can go home, then we go to bed, get this day over with.
Yeah, just make it happen. So that just rung home real good with me.
Yeah, I mean, there's some Depression era things that I think will come back. I think with everything that's going on, and a lot of people are still getting laid off trying to find jobs. People are going to need these tips again. I don't know what eating in's going to be like in the future, but at worst, if they won't bring you lemons, you can bring your own lemon juice. But you'll always at least have a good fancy drink.
A good hit up. We got anything, or are we ready to hit a break?
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll hit it hard with me and Adam meeting up a man in a parking lot.
The PLP, parking lot purchases. There's a reason we call this the DeathPiles and Taxes podcast.
Well, why do we call it that, Adam?
Because for the rest of your life, and even the year that you die, you have to file your taxes.
Well, I got a guy that does that for me.
That's right, because here at Adam Up Accounting, that's what we do. We take care of taxes. We're very familiar with online retailers. Even if you're listening because you enjoy the sultry sounds of Derek Everett, we will take care of your taxes. Check us out online, adamupaccounting.com. The social medias, we will help make sure that you file your taxes timely and enjoy the process.
Adam, if we've learned anything the last couple months, it's that we've been paying too much for things. People are looking to save money. That's where our friends over at Visible Mobile come in. People are paying crazy amounts for cell phone service, and they just realized how much money is going out that door. Go over and check out visiblemobile.com. Look at their plans. Look at what they have to offer. If you like it, remember it was us at DeathPiles and Taxes that sent you. You're going to want to use our promo code BVWBQ. They got specials all day long. Just go see what they have, and if it works for you.
Well, great. It's because I have a cell phone and I need to pay less money.
Ta-da! Adam had to go get him a cold bottle of the Aqua. It ain't gonna... Oh, you can hear it open, I thought.
A little smidge.
It's not gonna ka-ching for you, but he couldn't stand me drinking this Diet Dew in front of him. Hope you had a great break. Had some new commercials in there for everybody.
Ice cold water, man. That's just good.
Me and Adam have experiences upon experiences, and I guess that's why we do a podcast show, so we can share them with everyone. It's no secret that we've been big into the cards lately. We've been using the Facebook Marketplace. I've had a few, last week we had a whole episode about my story. The same as last week. It was the same week, we just couldn't get to it.
3 days later, we had an insane other.
I just had some dental surgery, so I wasn't sure. I was on some painkillers, and
you were on painkillers.
And I had been on some gas before that, so I didn't know if I was high and making this up, but apparently this really did happen. And so I'm looking on the Facebook Market algorithm.
Late at night.
There's some sort of an algorithm that tells you of the kind of what you're more of. Adam's computer's chirping at us like it's a bird in the morning. So I start seeing some of these cards, and I noticed the same guy putting up these cards, but we're talking Michael Jordan rookie cards, there's Mickey Mantle cards, there's Kobe Bryant rookie cards. There's a lot of good cards, and I read the description, and the guy says in the description that basically it's his inheritance from his grandfather, and that he's got these cards from his grandpa's collection he's looking to sell. Anyone that knows anything knows that Michael Jordan rookie card is worth quite a bit. That's the obvious statement of the week.
Yeah.
However, if you get graded, it's worth quite a bit more. There's a really low population on really good, high-quality graded cards, which surprised me of that rookie year, but just things didn't survive. People weren't saving them like they do now with things. It was kind of when that all started to happen. So I'm looking at some of this stuff, and I think, man, this is amazing. This is great. So I send the guy a message, and he got back to me at some point, and we're kind of doing the talk.
And while he's doing this, he tells me about it, and I'm seeing these cards the same night. And And I'm looking, I'm like, man, these are pretty cool. And I'm like, I gotta message this guy. And it won't let me message him. It's like they've been taken down or something. So then Derek contacts me the next day. Well, you tell me how.
Well, so I tell the guy, so I'm like, man, you got some cool stuff. How do I know, first things, how do I know this is real? With any Michael Jordan rookie card, I've sold 2 of them already to card shop owners. So I'm like, so your grandpa had 3 of these cards? Oh, yes. And I don't know him from Adam, so maybe grandpa was a big collector or whatever. I said, well, what do you want for these? And you get in this little negotiation, and basically, we had some 21 cards or something. He was wanting about $2,000 for them. I said, well, let's meet up and look them over. If everything's good, that's, way below what they should be. In my mind, that's the first red flag, obviously, that's way too low of an asking price. But if everything looks good, I think in my head, there's 3 reasons. Either dude really needs some money, dude doesn't know what he has, or they're not real. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to. So I contact Adam and say, hey, what you doing tomorrow afternoon? And he says, you tell me what we're doing tomorrow afternoon. And I said, oh, we're going to go look at some cards and kind of catch him up on the story.
Because anytime Derek says, hey, what you doing tomorrow? I want to be doing the same thing he's asking me.
There might be some good things there. So I start going on the YouTube, and I'm looking up how to spot if a Michael Jordan rookie card is real or not. And there is a lot of tutorial videos. There's a lot out there. There's a lot of fakes. I'm about to the point where I don't know that I dare buy one in raw form. There's so many fakes, reprints, whatever you want to call it, that look pretty good.
And you got to keep in mind, Derek's kind of in the jaded phase. He had just got burned on 20 G's like a couple days.
Before. This is all in the same week.
So that, the heartfelt story of the goodness of people has kind of gone away.
I've also, I haven't been burned yet. I had the $20,000. This is before I knew the check had not cleared at this point. So I'm walking on sunshine still a little bit. It was a couple days later.
Getting nervous at that point.
But getting nervous. And so I also contacted a friend of the show, Michael Painter, because he's big into cards. I said, dude, have you seen this? I sent over the pictures to the group. I said, what do you think? And he's kind of said the same thing. He said, either you found the deal of the century, or this guy's got some nefarious, he either stole the stuff, or he doesn't know what he has, or he might have some other problems where he just needs fast cash. So I get talking with him for a minute. I said, dude, what should we do? Because we're going to get there. He wants to meet us at the Cabela's parking lot. I'm like, how do I go about this without trying to offend him? Because you don't want to just shut down all operation, but you gotta be critical and not get swindled, so to speak.
And I told Derek, I says, make sure you bring cash money, and that's obviously walking around with $2,500 cash is not the thing that a lot of people want to do anymore.
No, you don't want to have a whole lot of cash on you at any time, because
especially meeting some guy that you've never met in a parking lot. I mean,
that makes it harder for cash.
Yeah, not let's saying it's going to happen, but it's always something to keep.
And that's another reason why I told Adam, hey, can you come? Because if you have a couple people there, odds are that somebody goes crazy, they go crazy, but odds are if they're looking to rob or take advantage, you got witnesses, you're in a crowded parking lot with a lot of people around, and you have a friend, not as likely to happen.
And that does bring us to another thing. Make sure if you're buying something, you meet somebody in a well-lit area. I've always had people, too, also say, meet in the police parking lot.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Nothing wrong with that. I usually do places, large public, lighting, security cameras around. In case things go south, which occasionally you hear about, and they do, which is unfortunate, but it's your doorstep and they see what you got at your house and come back, you can get robbed. Be safe out there, people, especially in what we're doing. They see money, they see that you're collecting things. You don't want to make yourself a target or a victim, so be safe.
So Derek told me about this. I'm like, well, I better prepare. I better grab some cash. Because you never know.
You never know. You never know. And we've seen enough and heard enough that you just never know. So I go and buy me a magnifying glass because I'm going to do some inspections on some things. And I think, if nothing else, that makes it look like I know what I'm doing.
And just so you know, you're mentioning that now. I already have something planned for that. So I just want to make sure this did not jog a memory. I've already thought about this before you said that.
A lot of these cards were in screw down, and I've been reading a bit about this cases. A lot of the people like to put those in there because they're harder to look at and identify. So from now on, I'll be bringing a little screwdriver as well. With talking with Mr. Painter, though, he had this great idea, and he said, you know what you need to do? I said, no, what's that? He said, you just start putting things in piles. He's like, look at something, put it in a pile. Look at something else, put it in another pile. If dude gets jumpy, there's something up. Because if he's like, why are you putting that in that pile? Do you think those are fake? This ended up being almost prophetic. of just making your piles of different things and just see what his reaction is. If it's legit, he's not going to care. He's just thinking that you're sorting out what you might be interested in, or maybe putting the same sports or whatever together. If there's something shady going on, the guy's going to be wondering what you're doing with these piles, right?
Good point.
So, anyways, me and Adam get up there and we meet the guy. Adam, do you want to say your first impressions or how this rolls?
Well, I always try to be extra cautious, so as soon as Homeboy rolled up, I was taking pictures of him, taking pictures of his license plate, just in case I never saw Derek again. I'd make sure I had.
And that's another thing. You got your smartphone. You can put it on record. You can put it on camera. Adam took a picture of the license plate and the car. Very smart move. Guy comes out, and first thing, I don't want to get too stereotypical or whatever, but he looked like he may have had some problems with substances. Is that fair to say?
That is a fair term.
So, and he's kind of pointing to some obvious things that come with people with substance abuse problems.
And he was mentioning these, so we kind of come a little cautious at that moment.
So right at that point, okay, he's either looking for money to buy substances, or he's selling fake stuff for substances, or he stole stuff for substances. We don't believe, even before this, we didn't believe the grandpa story because he has cards that look like Mickey Mantle back in the 1950-60 cards, but he also has cards from 2020. Obviously, if grandpa just passed, he wasn't buying cards this year. More likely than not. The story just didn't seem authentic.
Yeah. So we roll up, and it's kind of weird. It's like, where do you want to look at it? He pulls his stuff out, and we open up his trunk. And he already had this stack of cards that Derek, said I'm interested, but he had them taped together.
Taped together, almost like a brick of cocaine, so to speak, where we were just going to hand off the cards, I'd hand off the money, and I'm like, no, man, we're looking at these cards. I don't know where you're from, but where I'm from, 20 grand, and it wasn't 20 grand.
2 grand.
2 grand is a lot of money. Or, hey, a couple hundred is a lot of money. I'm not just going to hand it over willy and nilly.
And while we're talking about that, he also has other cards that he's bringing. So he brings out this large box.
Well, he tells me, I got all this other stuff. I said, bring everything. I have some autographs, because I thought, well, there's an off chance Grandpa was a collector, and he might have some things maybe he doesn't like or care about sports. Maybe he just needs money. Or maybe he just wants to get rid of it because, you don't want to remember Grandpa. That kind of stuff happens. There's always those divorce fire sales where people leave with, brand new Porsches for pennies on the dollar occasionally.
Everybody's got a death pile.
So he brings out some of these cards, and some of them look pretty legit.
Yes.
Some of them look like they just came off the inkjet printer.
Correct.
And there's some in between. And so bring out the old magnifying glass, and Adam starts going to town on some of the stuff. He brings out the box. Adam's kind of doing his sorting thing. I'm doing my sorting thing. First thing going through my mind is, okay, let me find that Jordan card. If the Jordan card's real, all the cards are probably real. If the Jordan card's fake, most of the cards are probably fake, because it's just hard to find Mickey Mantle cards and that kind of thing anyways. And when he's asking such a low price, one of these cards would easily cover the cost of everything if it turns out to be right. So I get out the magnifying glass, I find the Jordan. I've been looking at online tutorials for the last couple hours at this point, and all sorts of red flags on that card.
Yes.
So,
and while he's looking this up, I'm going through another stack, and we're talking, a guy probably had 200 cards there.
oh, easy.
There was a large things, and I'm looking through it, the same thing, and I learned a lot from this experience. I'll be honest, so this is kind of one of those first kind of things for me. I think I overplayed my hand to some, but I also feel like I walked away in a very good spot. The guy was getting defensive, and that's when you kind of always know.
The problem is Adam's going through some of the cards. I'm doing my sorting thing, and I'm like, okay, a lot of these cards aren't real. Since the Jordan wasn't real in my mind, but I can't turn to Adam and be like, yeah, these are fake, because the guy's there. And he kind of was getting defensive, like, I thought we had a deal, man. What's all this? I'm like, well, we got to go through and look at things. And I found about 5 cards that I was willing to take a gamble on.
Yeah.
Things that weren't really, they didn't look fake, not really going to be fake. There's one Jordan card that I did take that possibly could be a reprint or whatever. And so I told the guy straight out, I said, let me take a chance on these 5 cards. I'll just pay you for those. Let's come up with a price. And, basically...
And I'm telling him, whoa. I see a lot of stuff that it's in a different pile that's on the lower end. And I'm like, hold on a second. And I've gone through my stack, and like I said, I just decided to pull out several different types of cards. So
we're kind of having this back and forth. I'm like, I'll try these 5. Adam starts telling the guy, hey, these aren't real. Which I'm like trying to give you the cuts. I'm like, don't say this. Don't get this guy upset. Like, I don't want to get shot in the parking lot. Like, Adam's like, these aren't real. And the guy starts being like, what do you mean these aren't real? And Adam's just being friendly and trying to educate the guy on, hey, look at this. This is not saying that your grandpa was a fraudster or anything, but here's some signs. This is obviously a reprint. This just came off the bubble jet. You can see here the pixelation's not right.
And I really tried to, and I think, I don't know, it's tough to say, but it just explains some of the things situation. Because, I mean, I'm looking at it, and I've got graded cards from PSA, from GMA, from all these different places, and times were different, 15 years ago, there's different kind of systems, but education is everything, and I really try to let this guy know, like, hey, this is kind of why these are incorrect, this is what the difference is. But that being said, I've got a stack of things that we have here. I really don't know the guy had everything in categorizing and stuff. So I says, all right, Derek, here's what we've got. I've got, 13 cards. You've got 5 cards.
Well, I start doing my piles, though. Let me get back to the story, because I'm doing my piles, and he's like, what, you think all that pile's fake? Why is that pile over there? I said, no, I'm just kind of what I'm interested in or not. He goes, well, that's real. That's real. And I said, well, okay, well, this Adam's already burst the seal. I said, well, this is why this one's not real. And I list about 4 or 5 things on the Jordan card alone. So he's like, so what, you just wasted my time? I drove all this way, you're just wasting my time. I said, dude, I get it. I was coming into Christmas morning thinking I'm going to get, thousands of dollars worth of valuables. I said, I drove a long way too. We met a middle point. I understand that you want to come out with something. And basically, I was like, hey, I'm interested in these cards. You're interested in those cards. I said, hey, if this turns out to be real or whatever, I'll call you back up. We'll hit you back up. And Adam kept reiterating that to the guy, like, hey, we're taking a chance, but, if this turns out to be good, we want to go talk to our guy. I mean, kind of threw out a little bit of a story of we're going to go get these authenticated and checked, and if it comes out good, we'll be contacting you. But
because you got to remember, like, you're in a parking lot. It's not like you have a time to go through each card, look up comps, look at things.
Some of the cards I've been looking up were obviously not right. I went later when I went home. He had that King Griffey card that we left that was Beckett, but I looked up the number on Beckett, not authentic. So I mean, there's people that are doing some things that you got to take your time, don't get rushed. But he was kind of getting hot. We were kind of trying to talk him down. He was really upset at me.
Yeah, he was.
Because he thought I was coming with $2,000 and just going to leave. And I'm like, no, man, I'm interested in these 5 cards.
Yeah.
Like, what are we going to do about that? Adam was kind of de-escalating. I said, man, you don't even got to sell to me. Like, if you're mad, I get it.
I'm like, shut up.
Yeah.
I want this.
You don't got to sell to me. Deal with Adam. I just kind of walked away for a minute. And Adam had his stack of cards and said, all right, you're just dealing with me right now. What do you want for these?
Yeah, and that's kind of where I threw in. I says, I had 13 cards. Derek had 5. And I says, listen, man, we really don't know. Let's just throw out a number. I says, we'll pay it $20 a card. That's $360. And the guy says, all right, great. So I'm like, Derek, pay the man, because I had some money, and I said we just took care of it. And anyways, we got that. We had a chance. We got our stuff. We walked away, and then we really kind of looked at some things, a little deeper dive, and some of them were valuable. Other ones, I mean, they were reprints, and these are difficult things that you can't tell. I mean, I had a Willie Mays card that you just didn't know, and it looked real, but then as we looked at it, the back was the wrong color. It was a reprint. Same thing with the Julius Erving that we're looking at, really dirty, really beat up.
And here's the thing too, some of the cards, like even some of his Mickey Mantles, he had creases in them, they look dirty. They printed on creases to where it doesn't look pristine or new, which you'd think a fake would be. These were actually really, really good as far as that looks right of how it should look. So with the dirt, they kind of dirtied up your Julius Erving card. So
I have 13 cards, and I'm looking at them right now, and I'm just going to throw this. I'm waiting for a few things, but looking at comps, looking at how real they are, like I said, I really rolled the dice, and I feel like I'm going to come out really well. I got a Tom Brady rookie, a Kobe Bryant rookie, Barry Bonds, and a Drew Brees. And those cards alone, looking at the comps, what I'm going to do is I am taking them out of the containers, because these are from GMA, RGA, BCC. These are other grading companies that just all of those are grade 10s, and then PSA's other cards are grade 9. So PSA is really the authority. They're the big boys. So on these 4 cards, as far as what I'm looking comps, I mean, I'm looking close to $1,000.
If everything turns out well.
If everything turns out well, like it's, and it's hard. I mean, nothing is nothing. Ask Derek. It doesn't count until the check is cashed.
Everything looks good on paper.
But I am, Derek always talks about this. Get ready, get ready. I am preparing for Christmas right now.
Get loading that card of grannies. I came out with a couple. I had a Derek Jeter rookie card, and that's the thing in the parking lot. You don't have a lot of time to look at it. I get home and this card's almost comical because the real card, he's getting ready to catch the ball, right?
Yeah.
The one I have, he's got his hands on his knees like he's fielding. So I'm like, okay, that one's obviously bad. There was a Kobe rookie that just wasn't worth a whole lot. There was a wrestling plate card. I mean, the printing plate, those aren't ever really faked. If they are, that's way too much free time. So that was a little valuable. I'm trying to think. There was a couple too that might pan out to be real for me, but it was kind of the same thing. I was just kind of trying to get out of there, get Adam out of there, trying to give him the little iggy of like, dude, some of these just aren't looking right or aren't passing my smell test. But I'm also not trying to blow up his game. So I think we ended all right. The guy took off. I saw that he was selling some of the stuff that Adam had told him was fake online not but an hour or two later. So
Yeah.
I think he knows what was up. So when you're out there, I mean, handbags, there's different places where it fakes. Wherever you're selling, Nike shoes,
Yes.
Sports cards, big one.
Shirts even. I mean, even
Take the time and learn what you're looking for.
I know I've seen a lot of that on these Facebook groups, the eBay resellers talking about these, early 90s. It has to be like a certain thread count and different types of, stitching.
And unfortunately, anything that has some value to it is going to be something where people with nefarious reasons will try to counterfeit to make some money off of it. So,
And it's the same thing. I mean, it's like these bootleg movies that you used to get. I mean, T-shirts of these championships that are just totally fake. So be careful. Like I said, educate yourself. And honestly, I feel really good about what we did because I got highly educated. I don't know if we'll ever come across an opportunity like that again.
You never know. I mean, there's always things going on. Adam talked to Phil down at the store. I think I kind of did the same as far as he has people come in looking to sell a lot. He doesn't really like buying off people for different reasons. One, you burn bridges if you offer him, a fair price. And two, he's got wholesale accounts where he's just trying to bring in stuff that way. So basically, we said, Phil, ever you come across some things, feel free to give out our number. So who knows? We might have an experience again. Usually, if you have a referral or something like that, it's a little more likely to be not meeting up in the parking lot with it. But you never know, right? Somebody's always out to make a quick buck. So educate yourself on what you're looking for. If something looks too good or too right, obviously it probably is, but every now and again, you find that Jordan rookie card sent by the trash can, so you never know.
So there you go. I mean, there's our I'll go ahead and say that, our meth head story.
Yeah, this guy definitely, that was a meth head in the parking lot. That's what happened.
Guys, I got bit by fire ants. My leg, he's wearing a shirt. I got bit by fire ants.
Yeah, he was a little too antsy and in the pantsy, and the face from what he looked like online to what he really looked like. Dude was going through some issues.
Yeah.
Those points are always hard. I've had the same thing with video games in the past. They've kind of died down. I was big into video games a couple of years ago, and I remember meeting some people in the parking lot that were selling off basically their kids' gaming system and everything for a pretty, fair price.
On the dollar.
And it was obviously that money wasn't going to go to the kids. I always have a hard time. Do you buy the things knowing that that's kind of what you're helping out, or do you not? That's a moral decision. I kind of think as it's stolen stuff, you don't want to get caught up in that. So be careful, be safe. If you don't feel right about a situation, obviously avoid it. If you're taking chance, I mean, that's just all morals, right? There's no way on a podcast we can tell people what they can and can't or should or shouldn't do on that.
So ending on an up note, I think I've got about $1,000 here, and that is going to get me that much closer to going to Disneyland.
We will follow up with Adam if he goes to Disneyland this next year. We'll know
When we go to Disneyland.
if he goes off of these cards.
Yes.
How about that?
Well, we're preparing, we're filling the wagon, and like I said, good time, great. Love doing the podcast. Like this is for anything, we're documenting our stories. These are going to be on the webs for forever. Fun stories. Like I said, these are just like honestly, that's why we do this. Is for us, it's just been years over years of stories, and now we can document it. So when we're old and we can't remember, say, hey, remember that time?
Hey, play that episode. 40 years when kids are listening to what we were flipping and selling and thinking, man, those were the simple days. Look, they were just selling sports cards.
And the reason why is because there are two things that are certain in life, Derek.
That is always going to be death piles and taxes.
Can't wipe the windblown smile from across my face. It's just the old man in me, washing his truck at the Sinclair station in the land of the free. And his mother, Adeline's family, came on a ship, cut coal and planted a seed down in them drift mines of Pennsylvania in the land of the free. In the land of the free. In the land of the free. When I go out in my car, I don't think twice. But if you're the wrong color skin, you grow up looking over both your shoulders in the land of the free. How many killings must one man watch in his home till he sees the price on the tab? 8 measured minutes and 46 seconds. Another boy in the back. Another stain on the flag. In the land of the free. Move on, there's nothing to see. In the land of the free. Father in heaven, hear our plea. Father in heaven, help us see. How to lose our hatred and find your favor. How to break these cycles and change our nature, that we may walk underneath your banner. In the land of the free. In the land of the free. There's room for you and for me. In the land of the free.